Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Friendly Differences Podcast 2.0. I am Solid Blue Sister, and with me is my co host,
the one and only outspoken Dread Empath. Happy Saturday, folks.
Happy Saturday. And today we have our special guest, Miss Kimberly Michael, who in love with Kimberly Michael. How are you today, Miss Michael?
I am phenomenal. Always a pleasure coming on to see what brilliant questions you have concocted.
Concocted. I like that.
Right.
All right. So today we are going to talk about Rachel Dolezal. Did I pronounce her last name correctly? So
Yeah, I think
okay.
so.
So
We're
if
going with
any
that.
of you
We're going with that.
guys remember, she was the woman who who is white, was passing for black, and to give a little context, I am going to play a video.
Just ask you the question in simple terms again, because you've sent mixed signals over the years. Are you an African American woman?
I identify as black.
You identify as black. Let me put a picture up of you in your early 20s, though. And when you see this picture, is this an African American woman, or is that a Caucasian woman?
That's not in my early 20s, but...
That's a little younger, I guess? Yeah.
I think I was 16 in that picture.
Is she a Caucasian woman or an African American woman?
I would say that visibly she would be identified as white by people who see her.
But at the time, were you identifying yourself as African American?
In that picture, during that time, no.
Your parents were asked this question this week, and they didn't have any trouble answering it. Here's what they said. She's clearly our birth daughter, and we're clearly Caucasian. That's just a fact. Your father went on to say she's a very talented woman doing work she believes in. Why can't she do that as a Caucasian woman, which is what she is? How do you answer that question?
Well, first of all, I really don't see why they're in such a rush to whitewash some of the work that I have done and who I am and how I've identified. And this goes back to a very early age with my self-identification with the black experience as a very young child.
When did it start?
I would say about 5 years old.
You began identifying yourself as African American?
I was drawing self-portraits with the brown crayon instead of the peach crayon, and the black, black curly hair, and yeah, that was how I was portraying myself.
So it's
Okay, so just wanted to get some context in there so people could know who we were speaking of, and to start the conversation. So my question, I guess I'm going to for Kimberly. What do you think about what she said? Kimberly, you are frozen.
Which is my problem with her in the first place.
Okay,
But,
I'm a big fan of integrity. Wait. Can you repeat what you said, because you were frozen? So can you start your sentence over?
I was saying that what she said and how she lived are two totally different things, and although I'm a huge fan, advocate, if you will, of integrity, like what you say and what you do needs to match up from the deepest level to the most shallow. So you're not going to tell me you identify as black, but then you lived a life of deception, because that's not identifying as black. That's deception. She was deceiving people. She wasn't identifying as anything. She was perpetrating an actual fraud on a multitude of people under a multitude of circumstances. This is not just her being around some folks and acting black or talking black. I say that very loosely based on the conversation and what we're talking about. But I run across a lot of people that I grew up here and I grew up around, a certain ethnic group. And so I have these rights and I have these things and this makes me this. And a very wise man once told me, because I say a lot of my activism and a lot of what I feel about comes from me having miscegenated children. And what he said to me was, that's not a reason. I know a lot of women that have miscegenated children who don't feel like you feel and move how you move around. So it was, she's here, she is saying I identify, but that's not, the way she lived her life, and I'm not a fan of hers at all. So I'm just going to tell y'all, it's going to be challenging for me not to have an attitude about her, because it just goes against everything that has to do with authenticity. You know what I mean? Who does she benefit by this? Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Dredd, what do you think about what Rachel said and what Kimberly is saying?
Kimberly's probably not going to like this, but I admire her for wanting to be a Black woman, because we are we are it, everything about Black is beautiful. But on the same token, if I have to be completely honest, she took cultural appropriation to another level. Here's the thing, and I've said this, is that racism begins and ends with white people. So why couldn't you do your work as a white woman? Because if you've really been paying attention to the Black experience, you realize that no one listens to Black women. Nobody, what we say doesn't add up to a hill of beans. So why wouldn't you, as a white woman, knowing your power, knowing say, you know what? I admire these women so much that I'm going to help them. So I think in that part, her pretending to be a Black woman was harmful, because history's shown it. They don't listen to Black women. They listen to white women. White women, the vote, everything. White women who procreates with Klansmen and men who hate, and white men who hate Black people, white women. So you continue the culture when you could have done something different. So that part, yeah.
But Dredd, when you say that no one listens to Black women, I don't know. I mean, I guess my question is, even as a white person, okay, let me play this video, because this says it. This says what I'm trying to say.
Your appearance, your complexion appears darker than it did in the photos of you as a young lady. Have you done something to darken your complexion?
I certainly don't stay out of the sun, and I also don't, as some of the critics have said, put on blackface as a performance.
Yeah, let me address that, because some people have said that the way you've changed your opinion is akin to putting on blackface. And Jonathan Capehart wrote in the Washington Post, blackface remains highly racist no matter how down with the cause a white person is. Do you understand what he means by that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you agree with it?
I have a huge issue with blackface. This is not some free birth of a nation mockery blackface performance. This is on a very real, connected level. How I've actually had to go there with the experience, not just a visible representation, but with the experience. And the point at which that really solidified was when I got full custody of Isaiah. And
okay, so my question is, why do you have to identify as Black to have? I mean, I guess I'm trying to say is she is doing blackface. She is definitely doing blackface, and she says that she wants to help Black people, what have you. And so why can't she do that as a white person? Why can't you speak up for Black people as a white person? Why do you have to change your appearance and go blackface to have the experience of, or to have to help Black people?
Kimberly, you can take that
I
one.
don't think that was her intention.
I know I said a lot that
I
I
don't
was
think
trying
that was her intention.
What do you think her intention was? We can speculate. What do you think her intention was?
I certainly can't. Yeah, right. I'm going to be honest, and I mean as respectfully as I can say this, I don't give a shit what her intention was. It wasn't to help Black folks originally. I don't care what she's saying now that she's been caught, but I don't feel like, again, speculation, that she made a conscious choice and said, I'm going to go and start looking and saying that I'm a Black woman for the benefit of Black folks. She didn't uncover herself after she, like, at the point where she becomes a president of a chapter of the NAACP. You know, like, how far was she going to go until she then revealed that her true intention was to help Black folks? Because here's the end result now. No one's going to listen to her because of the deception behind it. If she would have came out on her own and said, I did this intentionally, this was my intention, this was my Black experience, and this is shown and proven and exposed, truly been able to expose some of the things that she went through as a, you know, pretending to be a Black woman, then maybe I could have got on board. But she's just like a cheater to me. You didn't give a shit until you got caught. I don't care what your title was and what you were looking for, or what you thought you were doing. You didn't come clean. And now because of that, there is no one that you're going to benefit with your story. I don't care about her story now. I don't want to hear about, oh, I was treated horrible as a Black woman. Why would why would you do that? You know what I mean? I've told this story before, but Jane Elliott, who everyone knows, she fights and has been fighting for years, probably 40 years, maybe longer, speaking specifically to white people about white people's mindsets, about the hidden mindset and the generational mindset that we carry. She's been talking to white folks for a million years, right? She's done little to nothing, unfortunately, to shift collectively the mindset of white folks, right? But her and Angela Davis were on at a campus, and they did an interview. During the interview, she does this all the time, but this one I'm just speaking on. She says, if anybody in the audience, y'all probably hear me speak on this before. If anybody in the audience wants to wake up tomorrow and be Black, stand up right now. Any white person in the audience wants to be Black tomorrow, stand up. Nobody stands up. Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. You must have not understood what I said or what I meant. What I meant was, if you're a white person and you want to wake up tomorrow and have a Black experience and be Black, stand up, right? There's a reason for that. She said, because what is the reason why no one stood up in this room that wants to be Black tomorrow for one day? But why did no one stand up? And I always say, I would have stood up. I would have stood up because I would want to experience, for a multitude of reasons. But the most important reason for me is because I would love to be able to connect with the Blackness in my children that will never be able to understand or to feel as deeply as they do. I will not ever be able to wake up and say I had this Black experience, and then be able to speak that to my children. To me, it's a benefit. I don't think that was, going back to the original, question. I don't think that was her intention. I don't think that's what her mindset said. Let me change things. Let me do better. Let me you know, and if she understood the systemic racism, if she understood oppression, if she truly understood the genocide that was happening, I'm with Dred on this one, then she would have understood what she needed to do was to speak like this, right? Because
Full
Dred is also
authenticity.
right in saying that, unfortunately, yes, because unfortunately, Dred is right in saying that white women have the power. Do you know how many conversations I've had with people in real estate that have said to me, if I had your face, I could get this shit done? You know what I mean? And I have said to them, let me be your face then, if that's what I need to do. These are the ways. It's those type of gestures. And I'm not being braggadocious. I'm just using it as an example. Those are the type of situations and occurrences where we can do good, right? Show up and represent as a white person for Black people, because that is way more powerful than deceiving white and Black people into thinking you are something that you are not. Your lack of authenticity now is it for me. I'm done. You know, it's it. I nothing I want to hear her say. Nothing. Not a word.
I have a photo of her when she got married. She married a Black man. I'm going to try to share this, but her children are biracial. Um, and a friend of mine, we were talking about her the other day, and she says, I think that Rachel Dolezal has a mental problem. And I said, I don't think she does. I think she's just one of those people who want to be Black. It just like you have some Black people who want to be white. So is there a difference? In fact that she just went to the next level of looking Black and everything. Is there a difference when you have Black people who want to be white? I look at Senator Tim Scott, and I truly believe if he could, he would make himself white. I think Clarence Thomas, if he could,
There is a
would make
difference.
himself white.
There is
You know,
there
so
is
is what is the only difference between she actually went and colored and changed herself, or
no. I'm gonna tell you, it's a bomb drop. They want to be Black for the experience. You got them people that want to be white for the privilege.
Okay.
Because as much as they try to yell about how people like me and you we're just complaining and we're part of the problem, you're not going to tell me that over there on Capitol Hill, somebody ain't told them in a micro aggressive kind of way to know their place because of the color of their skin. So yeah, she wanted the Black experience, because here's the thing. White people don't need to pretend to be Black people to understand our experience, because they hear it. Because one thing about racist white people, it's projection. They're going to think that other white people are racist such as them. That's why they're comfortable. And Kimberly has said this in the past, that she's heard them say some horrific things about Black people. So I agree that she didn't need the experience to understand that me as a Black woman, anything that I say can and will be used against me in human resources. I'm not allowed to do and say certain things in the workplace that she is. Now, some might say she made it to the NAACP as pretending to be a Black woman. Why couldn't you? I understand. So now that I sit and logically think about it, she kind of infiltrated Black spaces, which is why it's wrong. She infiltrated Black spaces, probably heard things that we don't talk about around white people.
Okay.
So yeah, she wanted the experience.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it probably did start out like that. She wanted to be, you know, she wanted to hang out, and I mean, I guess this is the part that I don't understand and I can't speak on, because of all the things that people say all kinds of things to me, white and black. And of course, I went somewhere the other day and I walked in the house and the lady said, "Oh my goodness." She said, "No disrespect, ma'am, but I did not expect you to be a white lady." Right. And I say to her, I am completely white. My parents are white. My ancestors are white. I'm a whole white lady. Right. I'm never and have never even, and I've had people say, "Are you mixed with something? Are you this? Are you that?" No, no, I would never, ever, no matter how I speak and how I move around, it's just because of my environment as an adult woman, who I was around and what I experienced. There's a lot of people. So I get a lot of pushback because I say we. I say we as when I say black folks, I say we, and people say stuff. That's the only thing that I cherish. And what I say is, I'm not going to separate myself from my seeds. They're miscegenated. I have a black child, a black woman. I have a black man and another black man that are my children, and I will not separate myself out from my children. So it is we for me. It's we for
So
me.
okay, and can
and
she
I'm,
say this? But can she say the same thing since she has biracial children? Can she say the same
Would you
thing?
accept that
her
from her?
children didn't know they were biracial. Her children didn't even know they were biracial. Her children thought they was black.
That's true.
So make it make sense to me right now.
And you know what?
Can't she say that? No, she can't.
That is a very, very good
Her kids
point.
didn't even think they was biracial. Her kids may have been dealing with a mindset that she didn't even begin to express to them or tell them because of the lie that she was living. There is generation. When people talk about generational curses, I speak on generational mindsets of white folks. Shit, you don't know that you know that you knew that you found out that has been passed down as a perceived privilege. Shit like that. You don't know until you know. And I'm not sticking up for white people, because find the hell out. There's enough going on that you can figure out what's really happening at this day and age. But that's not what she did. And she's lying. She's lying to her children. She's procreating a deception, and then her children have no idea who they really are. They can't speak on the depths of the whiteness in them at all.
I was gonna touch on that. I'm sorry, Solid. Go
No, go ahead. No, go.
Like, you made a very good point that her children didn't even know that they were biracial. They thought they were black children. And I'm probably gonna go research her some more later to see if there are photos of her children. Are they white passing?
Yeah.
Or are they light skinned like me and Solid? But wow, that hits different, because like, she didn't think about the ramifications that her children would have to suffer behind this. And I remember saying this to a white person on TikTok, because they gave the old, I didn't own any slaves, my ancestors did, and why shouldn't I be proud to be white? And I said, there is nothing wrong, because let's just pretend that, fine, she was a professor of African American studies. Let's pretend for a minute that she knows all the atrocities, which she does, that black people suffered. It is perfectly okay to be ashamed of who your ancestors were and be proud of who you have become and deconstructed from. If you have said, hey, this is what I was taught, and this is what I broke away from, and I'm proud that I stand apart from these people who are still subjugating and oppressing black people, there is nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm a white person that's sick of their shit. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. Yeah. Okay. I love when I'm made to think.
Okay, so you guys have heard of the book Black Like Me?
Yes.
Okay. Kimberly, have you heard of the book Black Like Me?
No.
Okay. It's a book that
Actually,
you probably would would like to read, and I had to read it in college, and I've read it several times since. And it is about a man by the name of James Griffith, who in the 1950s South, who is white. He saw all the segregation and everything that was going on around him, so he decided to live as a black man. He did the blackface and everything, but it was for him to discover exactly what was going on. He did not stay that way. He did it just to see exactly the differences if he went here, how he was treated as a white man, opposed as he went to the same place treated as a black man. Very good book. So if Rachel had done something like that, but then she continued to do it, would it have been acceptable? Meaning she was doing it just to see what it was like, but then she said, you know what, I think I'm just going to identify as a black. So I'm going to keep, darkening my skin and blah, 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 blah. And she just decided to I'm going to be black. I identify as black. Would that have been acceptable if she started off doing it like James Griffin did, but he stopped, wrote his book, and kept going about his merry way, or she continued to do it? Would it have been acceptable? Because it seems like the problem is the fact that not only did she do it, but she perpetuated this whole new life for herself. She perpetuated this lie that became her life. So if it started off as an experiment, as research, would it have been more acceptable, even though she kept doing it?
Well, she did write a book.
Yeah,
after she got caught. After.
Right. And that's the problem. Everything she did after. It's like a cheater.
Right.
He's good, but he's cheating. But when he gets caught, then all of a sudden it's a different story. Oh, well, my intention was, I didn't mean to, and I'm sorry. Are you sorry that you infiltrated? Are you sorry that you did not expose? What did she expose? And now that she wrote the book, again, who the hell's listening to the book? Who wants to read the book and listen to more lies about what she claimed she was going to do? We're not talking about a woman who got caught after 2 or 3 years over tanning herself. We're talking about a woman who had children. We're talking about a woman who was putting down on paperwork that she was black.
Yeah.
Who is again the president of a chapter of the NAACP. Come on, like.
Okay.
Well, so this is a picture of her son. This is 2017. So, picture of her son. Like I said, she was married to a black man. It says photo with her son Langston.
Langston. She named him after probably
Langston.
poet Langston Hughes.
Yes, who was legally changed her name to Nikki, Nkeci. I am assuming Nikki Amari Diallo rose to prominence as a black civil rights leader, but then lost her job when her parents exposed her as being white and is now struggling to make a living.
Oh yeah, she got charges brought up on her for welfare fraud. It came out that she said that she was only receiving like less than $500 a month, but she received tens of thousands. So is she just like a pathological liar? Maybe, I don't know.
So so again, how much do you think that she hurt? Did she hurt people of color by perpetuating this fraud?
She ain't help.
She didn't help.
No, but did she? But did she hurt?
No,
we don't know. She could have individually hurt people. You don't think she hurt her children?
She hurt her children. She hurt the people that trusted her, friends.
She hurt her parents. But they're white, so. But I'm saying, like, she hurt her children, and we don't know the relationships that she had intimately. And I'm not talking about men. I'm just saying intimate relationships she had with black women and black men the intimate side of it, and even the business side. I mean, I don't know if it's a physical hurt. I don't know if she, hurt Black folks as a whole, but I also feel like, what more could she possibly do against Black folks too? I mean, don't we have enough going on against Black people as it is? Like, she just didn't help any of the situation at all. The least she could have done was help, even if she didn't hurt, I mean, there's no benefit, and there's no, it's just an even place, and now she has no voice. So now, even if she really truly wanted to help Black folks, she can't, because she has no voice now.
All right, so let me put this back up here, because here we go. All right, so she says, she pretends about her desire to be Black at a young age. I would pretend to be a dark-skinned princess in the Sahara Desert, or one of the Bantu women living in the Congo. Imagining I was a different person living in a different place was one of the few ways that I could escape the oppressive environment I was in. Now, the oppressive environment, she says, in the book, she says her brother molested her as a child. Her family forced her to eat her own vomit, and she wore clothing made of dog fur. As she grew older, she didn't correct those thoughts, those who thought she was Black. In fact, she embraced it. She tanned and braided her hair. Her first marriage to an African-American man was rough, because Dolezal writes she was too Black for him.
I don't even know how to address that. Like, I don't know how to address that, except for using my own experience. And I mean, there's no way for me to do it but to say it. So her oppressive environment, I came from a family where I was molested by a grandfather, an uncle, and an aunt until I was in my teenage years. My other side of my grandparents were verbally violent. I'm talking about would threaten to kill each other every single day. I lost a child as a teenager. My father was verbally abusive. I was essayed. I don't know if you can say that kind of stuff on what platform we're on. Essayed when not even a year after losing my child. I did not grow up and then pretend to be another oppressive ethnicity because I was oppressed. I wasn't oppressed. I was abused. She wasn't oppressed. She was abused. So now she's using, so you're telling me now that she's been caught, she's going to use her trauma as an excuse to deceive. Again, it goes back to what I originally said. It's deception. It's the deception in it for me. Where is her value now? Where is it? Where can we find it? What are we going to believe about anything? So, okay, I'm sorry that happened to her. Get in line. Get in line. Our trauma is not an excuse to project toxic behavior, to deceive, to manipulate. Like, think of all the things she had to do to deceive and manipulate all the people that she had to deceive and manipulate. Think about all the things she had to do. You're in your trauma? Come on.
Okay, so Kimberly, would you say that she's sick, or do you think that she just purposely perpetuated this fraud for whatever reason? I mean, is there a mental illness there somewhere? I mean, is there?
I mean,
of course. I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I mean, could she?
Yeah, but I mean, isn't mental illness? Is it? Do you? So my experience was that I had my relationship for 20 years. He was in the military, but he wasn't a ranger, but he told everybody he was a ranger. And that's kind of what she did. Like, she claims to be in the trenches, right? But then she over exaggerates all of it. So did she slide into it and people started saying, hey, you know, she couldn't get what she was looking for as a white girl in a black community because of her. She was a ginger, and, you know, it was in freckles and very, very white. And so, you know, this was, you know, the time frame and all that, her way of, I mean, was she anti-white or was she really pro-black? I mean, like, what was it? And you're right. We have no way of knowing. I mean, mental illness, potentially, like who really gets up and just portrays to be, you know, a completely different ethnicity for no reason. So maybe that wasn't, maybe back to the intention question, maybe she just, you know, I remember back in the day, I used to wear my hair real straight and then I would curl it real high and leave it. I wouldn't brush it out. And I would do like Black women hairstyles and stuff, you know, and I would wear different clothes, and you know what I'm saying? And I had a different dress. And you know, it's evolved now into my own swag, but back then it wasn't. I was emulating and imitating Black women. I wanted my hair to be in the same style, but I never, ever, ever, ever lied about my true ethnicity in the process of all that.
Okay, so let me ask this then. Do you think? Oh, and let me, and to our viewers, there's an outage in Dred's area, so she had to drop out.
Oh,
So, but so do you think that some white people want to be Black in terms of, like you said, the way they dress, the way they hair? I mean, now they're calling, white people are calling Thomas Kelsey's fade, which is a Black hairstyle. They're now calling it the Kelsey, whatever, you know, and white barbers are now doing this fade for other white people. And he, to his credit, he came out and said, I am not going to take credit for something that Black people created. So do you think that white people do have an affinity to want to be Black? I mean, in terms of your clothes, they're, you know, young boys are wearing baggy jeans. They're saying, what's up? I mean, I'm on a podcast that every time this one person comes on, he's like, sup, you know, it just makes me laugh. And, you know, the bye Felicia and all this other stuff, you know, I'm like, why can't y'all go get your own stuff and create it? Do you think that some white people won't admit it, but they want to be Black in those terms?
I think that Black people have always been and continue to be genuinely proud of who they are and how they move around. And my experience was, you know, growing up around in private schools and Catholic schools, I was not around Black people. And when I went to high school, 10th grade, 15 years old, I go to a school that is predominantly Black. My parents went to the school. That wasn't the case then, but it is the case now. And I fell in love with Black people. I'm just being honest. I was like, oh my goodness, you know, like, where have Black people been my whole life? You know, I fell in love with myself and able to be authentically who I was. And I didn't get that at home. You know, I had to be a certain way and couldn't believe a certain thing. And, you know, I just don't, I think that some white people are fascinated by Black folks. I think some white people are rebelling against their white parents. I think some people think it's a fad. I think that there is a multitude of reasons why white folks either want to, I don't think they want to be Black. I just think they want to appear to be part of the Black community. And some people fake it. I think some people go to extremes. There's a white lady on TikTok I stopped following her, honey. She lives she's aggressive and she's always ready to fight somebody. And I think she's older than me. I could be wrong, but and I get it. Like but just like anything else, there's a place where you figure out who you are individually and what that looks like. And for the people who stay in that and they're doing that, I don't know. I don't know what their fascination is. I know what my fascination was. And my daughter has asked me, luckily I've had the influence of my children on my journey on my entire journey. And so I've had my daughter say, ask me specifically about fetishism and that sort of thing, where I sat down and said to myself, is this what I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this how I'm, I used to code switch when I lived in Florida. And then I moved to a black city here in Birmingham, and I don't code switch anymore. I talk like this all the time now. And I truly just kind of come into who I am. You know what I mean? But I think that there is an entire entity of white people that do their best to imitate, and copy what Black folks are doing. But back to the other question, do they want to get up tomorrow and really be Black? Do they really want the experience of being melanated in this world? Do they? Really, really, truly? Because it's not just about what they're going to experience, but it's about what they're going to have to let go of. And that's the racism that has existed deep down in the core. Just because you cool and you talk Black and you white and you walk Black, or again, it just in the conversation, walk Black, does it make you down for the cause? Like he said, does it make you down for the cause? Because I ask white women all the time, they're like, I got a mixed baby. I said, okay, would you die for Black folks? Oh, I would die for my child. Well, most women would. That's not the same experience. That's not the same heart. Would you stand up in front of a row of Black people that are not your children? And would you die for that? Would you die for all of them? That's a different and what she's doing, I don't think is that. But that's just me. And I don't know what this is what I personally try to expose. Like, there's good white people all over. I'm sure y'all know a few. Oh, I know a good white lady at work. Oh, my neighbor, he's a good white man. I bet he is. I bet he is a good white man. But at the end of the day, is he going to draw his sword in defense of you? In defense of your melanation? In defense of who you are? Is he going to die to allow you to liberate yourselves as melanated people? He can be good white folks. He can be good. Rachel, she could be a good, whatever she's calling herself today, person. But is she really down for the cause?
Okay, all right.
Because if she was really down for it, I don't think it would have played out like this.
Okay. Dred, welcome back. I know you have something you want to say.
Coming in on the tail end of that, it reminds me of this kid I worked with. Of course, I won't say his name, but he loves to drive old school Cadillacs. He sags his pants. He loves to let us know that he listens to Lil Wayne. But I remember having it out with him on Facebook twice, and then I deleted and blocked him. The first time we had it out, he got pissed off because Black people were using whiteface. And he said, oh, but this is okay. I said, why are you so mad? I said, aren't you acting like you're in blackface? You listen to rap. You complain about the police bothering you. Aren't you acting Black? But the next time, the final time I was done, I said on my status, we need to start recording police officers, or at least stopping and just watching them when it comes to them pulling over Black people. And when I tell you, this boy defended the police like there was no end. Oh, so you're just going to interfere with them, and so on and so forth. I said, I said, for somebody who likes to emulate black people, you sound an awful lot like what you are, a white man. Oh, you made it about race. I said, I didn't have to. You exposed yourself. I said, but like Paul Mooney said, everybody want to be a nigga, don't nobody want to be a nigga. I said, because why are you so mad at I'm saying that because of police brutality? I said, never did I say we should interfere, we should taunt, we should antagonize. I said, pull over and just stand there and watch. And you have an issue with that. I said, stay out of my culture because you only want my culture when it looks good for you. But in the end, you're going to side with your own people. I said, and that's why my people don't trust yours.
Can I push back on that? Can I push back on that for a moment? I know we're going over time, but I want to get a couple more things in. So I want to push back on you. I'm playing both sides here. So Dread, why? So are you saying it's okay for black people to go into whiteface?
No. I wasn't saying that. I was asking him.
Do you think it's so? What do you think about black people? Even though you don't see it as much, what do you think about black people who put on whiteface?
We don't want it done to us. We shouldn't do it to other people either.
Okay.
I got mad because I told him it's funny that you didn't comment when I put up something about white people putting on blackface, but the minute I made a joke about black people putting on whiteface, all of a sudden your nether regions got tender. I said, please continue to show me who you are.
And white people will.
All right. All right.
White people will. White people will definitely show you who they are.
Once again, I apologize for my technical difficulties. It is something with my computer. So this is what I'll be doing tomorrow before the Super Bowl, trying to figure this out because my phone has Wi-Fi and everything else.
No problem. Oh. Hold on one second because I want to share this last thing on Miss Dolezal. Okay. That didn't work. Let me try it one more time. This is not a video that I put in input, so. Okay, I do not have that one. Basically, it's where she finally said that she was black. That she was white. She finally admitted that she was white. But I don't know.
What, on national television? It was the first time that she had nationally said that I'm a white lady.
Said, I'm gonna see if I still have it in my folder here. But she did admit that she was.
Well, I mean, she couldn't deny it at that point. I mean, her parents are white. Her ancestors are white genetically. But what are you going to say? I'm not really.
Well, no, but you know what? At one point, though, she was saying that there's no DNA that her parents are her parents, and she was doing the whole thing. She says there's no DNA. And then when her brother said, let's take a DNA test, she wouldn't do it. So
Okay, so maybe mental illness. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this chick. Like I did not I'm just gonna be honest. The minute I heard about her, I was over her. I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't look into her another bit. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to know about it. I would see bits and pieces or whatever. But the more I found out, like, I didn't know about the babies. I didn't know she had babies. I didn't know that she refused a DNA test. Like, what is you going through? Like, listen, you can be pro-Black and not be anti-white.
This is
I
true.
mean,
This is true.
or you could be pro-Black and be anti-white if but I tell people that all the time that, well, you white lady. Okay, well, that doesn't mean I'm anti-white just because I'm exposing your ass,
This is true.
and to what you were saying about what Dred was saying about her person that she worked with. Go ahead.
No, I got it. No, you got it.
Oh, you were saying about the person that you work with. Let me tell y'all a quick story. I was dating, and everybody's always giving me the business about a white man. And I'm like, I'm being honest. Like, I mean, can you imagine me around his white family and I start talking about white folks and Black folks? It's not gonna be the best scenario for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if he listened to my music, and I call him dirty whites or gray boys, even if he was a dirty white or a gray boy, he gonna want a sister. And if he's not, you ain't gonna be able to take me nowhere, and we gonna have problems but I got a meme in my phone. It's a joke, and it say, watch my soulmate be white, and I'm on some Black love shit. Right? So I'm dating a white guy. I'm not dating a white guy. Let me take that back. I'm dating on an app, and I'm talking to this white guy. I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot, right? I'm not attracted. I'm just gonna try to have conversation. I'm just so not attracted. Anyway, I'm just to see, right? Like, prove myself wrong, prove everybody, whatever. And we have, I don't know, 5-6 conversations over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, maybe more. We do video, and I'm like, it's just not happening for me. But let me just, so one day he decides he's going to talk to me about politics and what he believes in and what he believes about human nature and humanity and civil rights and this sort of thing, right? So I decide, hey, we sharing, we learning. And I say, I'm not a Trumper and some other things. And then I said, and probably a good time to tell you, I'm pro-Black as fuck, right? Loses his whole entire shit, goes off on me. Why would you tell me that? What is wrong with you? Are you bragging about it? The first time I met you, I knew that you were pro-Black. I can't believe, when I tell you he utterly, and I said, I wrote something about it. I haven't posted it yet, but why is you mad? Why all of a sudden you sharing your political views and I'm sharing mine, and you like human rights and you like these kind of things, and I tell you who I am, and now you mad? I mean, insulted. I mean, mad. He was mad. And he never talked to me again, which is fine. I don't give a shit, but he never spoke to me again because I verbally announced that I was pro-Black.
Don't you love when they show you who they are?
Oh yeah, when they show you who they are, you believe them, right? Isn't that how they go? Yeah.
I thank the universe for those type of things.
I found the video, so let me just share this real quick.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
Uh-oh.
When you say you are Black, it makes it hard for people to understand where you're coming from.
Right, and that's why I said I acknowledge I was biologically born white, to white parents. I identify as Black.
You mentioned that there weren't boxes of race to check in your applications. If there were, what would you have checked?
I think when it comes to filling out forms, right, the form in particular usually defines things. And I've been a professor of African history, Black studies.
Yeah, but which one you checked though?
So it's like when it came, I checked white and Black because we all have human origins in the continent of Africa.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Dread, Kim. Which one of y'all want to take that?
I would have loved for her to define origins, because here's my take on it. What I know is, DNA wise, a Black woman is the only woman on the planet that exists that can create a child that looks like me and a child that looked like y'all.
Yeah.
That's different than our origins. We're all from Adam and Eve. That was that statement. We're all from Adam and Eve. We all came from Noah's seed after the flood. I mean, we can go on and on.
But do you think that she had a
so
hard?
What's the real truth?
But do you think she had a hard time, because even though she admitted that she was born of white parents, she's white, she's born of white parents, she still clung to that. I identify the origin. She still won't. To me, she went there, but she did not go there. So to
Two
me,
things.
she
did not hold herself accountable.
No, she didn't. No,
that's fair.
She did not hold herself accountable. She did not hold herself accountable. That's number one. And number two, she did not hold herself accountable.
Because she could have easily said, "I am a white woman."
I'm sorry, but
I mean, but why is, I mean, and again, I come back to, is it a mental,
sorry,
is it a mental thing with her? Because it is that but. It's like, there is no but. I mean, I can say that, okay, to be fair, okay, I'm playing both sides here again. To be fair,
okay,
I have always said, when white people look at their family tree, they're going to trip over one of us, because she very well could have her great-great-grandfather could have
been doing some things,
right,
one of us,
right, whatever, and her great-great-great-grandmother could have been doing some stuff. So is it fair? Can we give her that and say that her origins, that she, now I know I'm stretching here, but is it different from, I mean, is it different from me to say I have white in me, knowing that I do have white in me, knowing that for a fact that some of my relatives were white, as opposed to her saying, well, the origins, I mean, she could have some Black in her, right? I mean, is it really a stretch?
She don't know, because she wouldn't take a DNA test.
Let me put it like this. My great-grandfather was 100% indigenous. My great-grandmother was 100% indigenous, but both my parents are Black. I can appreciate my origins, which yes, by certain definitions, I am an Afro-Indigenous woman. But how dare I infiltrate the space of indigenous people? I can be proud of what's in me, because yes, you probably trip over her tree and everybody else's tree. It's one of us. Does she have the right to infiltrate us? No. Do I have the right to infiltrate indigenous people?
Okay.
No. Now, if I am welcomed, I can do what we tell white people to do. Come in quietly, be quiet, and learn, and do not take away from indigenous people, such as Rachel took away from Black people.
Agreed. Ooh. Again, it's nonsense, honestly. And who I don't know. I don't know why she never sat well with me, but at the end of the day, I don't have any sympathy for her. I don't have any empathy for her. I don't think that, like, I would have rather her break something down, and and the fact, I'm just gonna be honest, the fact that everybody applauds that she says she's white. Again, what's she gonna say? Why are you encouraging her accountability now that it's over? And does that mean that now she can identify as Black and y'all gonna be, that's so, you know what I'm saying? Because I would have been just like this in her face. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, what was you thinking? And how dare you try to say that, come back after the fact and try to say you was trying to do something. You weren't trying to do nothing. You were selfish. You were carrying narcissistic traits. You were manipulative. You were deceptive. That is your character now. That's your character now. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want her affiliated with me either. I don't want her to be part of my oranges. I know y'all don't want her to be a part of yours.
I'm good.
Shoot, for what? That's the
with-
kind of person I don't want to be involved with. I don't care what color you are.
Yeah, if you can't be
know
real
what I
with me
mean?
from the gate, what do I need you for? Because if you'll lie to me about something that
Nothing.
you know is false, you know that you were born to two white people. If you will lie to
Yeah.
me about something that is so obvious, there's no telling what else you'll lie to me about. Solid.
Right. You know, and back to your DNA. My great granddaddy's name is Willie Jackson. The odds of him being a white man are probably next to nil. And with that being said, I don't go around saying nothing. I'm the
Right.
same way. I got my great great grandfather was a Cherokee Indian. I don't go around like I got Indian in my family. I don't. I mean, if it's in a conversation, but I'm not growing my hair out and wearing tribal gear because I, you know, that I'm a descendant of a Cherokee tribe. Like I'm not.
Right.
There's just lines you just do not cross. And at the end of the day, if this would have never came and she would have died, and then somebody would have came back and read her history and pulled up her bones, they would have been like, this lady wasn't black.
Well,
They'd have pulled her. She wasn't black.
Solid.
She would have got exposed one way or the other. Ugh, she get on my nerves.
you know, this discussion has opened doors to others that I would like to explore. And Kimberly, I personally would like for you to come back and explore some of those because I really enjoy talking to you. The first time I heard you on that podcast, I, like you said, in love with Kimberly Michael. I fell in love with Kimberly Michael. So, but I'm going to take us out with I don't know what Rachel Dolezal was thinking, what she's still thinking. I don't know why she did what she did. All the videos and things I read about her when everything first came out, I didn't get it. I didn't understand. I tried. But I do feel sorry for her children. I do feel sorry for her children because are they going to know who they are? So, Dre, you have any last words you want to say, or
Be proud of who you are.
Okay, y'all. Oh, and then also I found out that YouTube was having some streaming problems. So we're streaming on Twitter and on Facebook, but we were not streaming on YouTube. But we will get the video up on YouTube. So
Yes, we will. Today was just crazy. My Wi-Fi went out. You know, it's a conspiracy. Okay,
it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy.
Light skin. You understand?
It is. It is. Let me try to share something on my podcast page.
So, all right, y'all. So, everyone, thank you for tuning in. If you were Frankie, thank you for tuning
Kimberly,
in.
Thank you for being with us. You're Kimberly, always welcome.
Always.
Honor.
So on that, y'all, I'm just gonna say, peace.